Ladies and gentlemen, gather around. Have I got a deal for you? The kind of deal that's better than finding a dollar bill on the sidewalk, better than getting the last slice of pizza, and yes, even better than your ex coming crawling back to you, begging for forgiveness. We're talking about the surefire, money making, sleep easy at night strategy of value investing. You've heard of it, right? Of course, you have. You smart cookie. Now I'm about to lay down the 10 hottest insights from that thrilling page turner, Value Investing from Graham to Buffett and Beyond. It's like the best pie you've never eaten, but for your wallet. Let's dive in. 1. First things first, let's meet the godfather of value investing, Benjamin Graham. This guy was to investing what Beethoven was to symphonies, what Michelangelo was to ceilings. Graham wrote the book on investing quite literally, and if you're not giving a little nod to Benji Boy every time you make a buck, you're not paying proper respects. He's the grandmaster of buying undervalued companies like they're on clearance. Discounted cash flows, intrinsic value, margin of safety. These terms might sound like financial mumbo jumbo, but they're the holy grail of making sure you're not the guy left holding the bag. 2. Speaking of margin of safety, it's like having a net when you're walking the tightrope, but better because it saves you from a financial faceplant. It's buying a dollar for 50 cents, so even if that dollar bill gets a little soggy, it's still worth more than you paid. It's how you safeguard your pocketbook against the cruel twists of the market. Think of it like buying an umbrella in the desert. Sounds crazy until that one day it rains cats and dogs, and you're the only one keeping dry. 3. Then we got value traps. Oh boy, these are like those sirens that lured in the sailors with their beautiful songs, and then bam, you're shipwrecked. A value trap is a stock that looks cheap but is actually about as desirable as a $2 steak. Maybe the company's going the way of the dodo, or their business model got about as much future as VHS tapes. That's why you got to do your homework, folks. Look under the hood, kick the tires, and make sure you're not buying into a blockbuster right before Netflix rolls into town. Sim 4. How about those financial statements? Most people would rather watch paint dry, but let me tell you, those bad boys can sing and dance if you know what you're looking for. We're not just talking profits and revenue. We're digging for buried treasure in the form of ignored assets, hidden liabilities, and cash flow that's smooth like butter. A company's balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement are like the trio that makes up a rock band. Each has a part to play, but it's the harmony that makes the music hit the sweet spot. And 5. Now, raise your hand if you've heard of Mr. Warren Buffett. Yeah, that's no surprise. This guy could buy out a candy store with his pocket change, and still, the most interesting thing about him would be his brain. Buffett took Graham's teachings and said, I'm going to add a little secret sauce. That sauce? Moats. Economic moats, my friends. Not the kind with crocodiles, but almost as good at keeping competitors at bay. Warren looks for businesses so strong, they could survive a zombie apocalypse and still pay dividends. That's the kind of fortification you want. 6. And how do you find these gems? Research, research, and more research. Skimming the headlines won't cut it. You've got to be like Sherlock Holmes with a calculator, sniffing out clues, asking questions, and being skeptical about everything but your own abilities. You got to know a business like you know your favorite bar's happy hour schedule, intimately and with a clear vision of the benefits. 7. Diversification, or as I like to call it, not putting all your eggs in one basket, because who wants egg on their face? You might think you found the next big thing, but even the Titanic had unsinkable on its resume. Spread those investments around. Even old Graham said you should have at least 10 stocks. Just like a good buffet, you want a little bit of everything. That way, if the meatloaf is bad, you still got the mashed potatoes. 8. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mr. Market. This guy's moodier than a teenager after their first breakup. Prices swing up and down like they're on a trampoline, and it can be easy to get caught up in the excitement. But remember, you're the cool, collected type. You don't care if Mr. Market is willing to sell you $1 for 3/4 today, because you're only interested if he's having a meltdown and offers it for 50 cents. 9. When it's finally time to pull the trigger, patience is your best friend. Value investing isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's a get rich slow masterpiece like fine wine or your grandpa's jokes. You've got to wait for that sweet spot when a great company stumbles into the Wall Street discount bin. It might not happen today, tomorrow, or even this year. But when it does, cash in hand, you're ready to make your move like a panther, stealthy, smart, and with a little bit of attitude. 10. Lastly, there's the circle of competence. Know what you know and know what you don't know. It's like sticking to the classics at karaoke night. Don't go trying to hit those Mariah Carey high notes unless you're absolutely sure your pipes can handle it. Stick to industries and companies you understand, because guessing in this game can leave you broke and belting out the blues like a B-list bar performer. And there you have it, folks. The top 10 nuggets of wisdom from the investment Bible, Value Investing, from Graham to Buffett and beyond. If you arm yourself with these timeless tips, you'll be on the path to financial nirvana, or at the very least, you won't end up living in a van down by the river. Remember, don't be just another Wall Street wannabe. Be the sage of your stock portfolio, the mogul of your own money. Now go out there and make Ben Graham proud. Just don't forget who pointed you to the treasure map. Happy hunting.